Imagine brushing away the dirt in a deep, ancient excavation site and uncovering machinery that logic dictates belongs in an entirely different millennium. You're holding a physical object that contradicts the established narrative of human history. This timeline represents the standard model of human progress we are universally taught. It charts a clean, sequential climb from the Stone Age up through the Digital Age. Each era builds logically on the tools and discoveries of the last. But that sequence fractures when you introduce OOPArts, out-of-place artifacts. These are historical anomalies, physical objects pulled from the dirt that disrupt this rigid chronological sequence. We are going to audit 4 specific artifacts that refuse to fit the timeline. They scale from improbable mechanical engineering to the possession of geographical data that should not exist. Unearthing even one of these objects forces us to confront a difficult question. What if the timeline of human civilization is incorrect? To ground this in documented science, we start here, at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. This is the Antikythera Mechanism. Researchers have identified it as an ancient Greek analog computer designed to calculate complex astronomical positions. Looking at the surviving architecture, the precise, interlocking gear teeth and circular structures are visible despite the heavy oxidation. This level of miniaturized clockwork predates the next known appearance of similar technology by well over 1,000 years. The Baghdad Battery presents a similar chronological gap. It consists of 3 components: a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an acidic liquid. When combined, these materials produce a measurable electrical charge. It demonstrates a working mastery of electrochemistry long before the formal discovery of the electron. While we understand the mechanics of these objects, we lack the context. There is no surviving historical record explaining why an ancient society required a steady electrical current. These isolated examples of high science show that advanced mechanics and chemistry appeared without the gradual buildup of knowledge we assume is required. Other objects offer no clues regarding their function. Consider the Roman Dodecahedron, often found buried in the muddy fields of northern Europe. The geometry is non-intuitive. It features hollow circular faces of varying diameters and distinct spherical knobs cast onto every vertex. Archaeologists have recovered dozens of these across the former Roman Empire, yet there is no mention of them in the written record and no scientific consensus on their use. In 1513, an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis compiled a world map that presents a different set of questions, centered on geography rather than engineering. Looking at the southern portion of this parchment, the anomaly is found in the specific outlines of the coastlines. The ink lines at the bottom of the map match the subglacial topography of Antarctica. This creates a significant problem. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, and that specific rock coastline has been buried under a mile of ice for millennia. The accuracy of these outlines suggests a level of coordinated, world-spanning survey work that occurred long before our current records of exploration begin. When you place these 4 disciplines, mechanics, chemistry, geometry, and cartography, into the standard narrative, the linear model fails to account for them. The physical evidence suggests human progress is fragile and cyclical, punctuated by periods where vast amounts of data were lost. Looking at the ruins of the Library of Celsus, we see how vulnerable knowledge is. Intellectual achievements are easily erased by war, fire, or the passage of time. These artifacts may not be prototypes of our current world. They appear to be the surviving debris of lost eras that reached their own peaks before collapsing. We are left with a history defined by its gaps, a record of what survived,